Hi everybody, and welcome to a daily reading. You saw me lay out the cards. I just wanted you to see the process. So basically what I do, I shuffle and cut all my decks and I put them in 3 piles and I lay them out like this. And if you're part of YouTube, you get this. It's a personalized reading as well. You're going to pick card combination 1, 2 or 3. You won't see all of them because they're under the oracle deck, but there are 3 piles of tarot cards, and each pile has situation, block and advice, and it will tell you something about your situation, and it has to do with this. So I read it in according to the oracle cards. And if you're part of my bundle, you get all of this. Got my runes here, I got the animal magic deck, I got my destiny cards, and I got my master your life with the Norse gods and goddesses card. So let's get started. Let's start with the animal magic. It's my favorite deck, I think. Hair. Okay, so hair. When you work with the animals, spirit animals, you get often, what I find is that if there's something that you need to push your life forward, that animal spirit, and it's basically spirit of all the animals. So hair, for example, is like the highest consciousness of this animal. That's what you're connecting with. And when there's something that is going on in your life, and there's something maybe that you are lacking in a way, or maybe you have too much of something, I find that the animal spirit often come to help you balance out something. So for example, when I started out doing online business, basically niche marketing, and starting designing websites and things like that, I suddenly could see skunk everywhere. And it was something with skunk that I lacked in my personality. I didn't have any type of aggression in me at all when it came to doing anything really with business. And I lacked that boldness, I guess. So skunk, I could see skunk. It was just in my mind constantly until I realized I need to investigate what is it actually skunk means. And it is, of course, first of all, balancing male and female. And I was too much in the softer energy. I needed to be more in the bolder, masculine energy. And that's why skunk came. And so every now and then it will reappear in my life. When you get hair, hair is, more of a prey animal, and it's more of a, it's a bit more timid, So it doesn't mean that you are timid, or it actually means that you need to look at your fears, especially your phobias. So it will help you deal with a phobia. So it could be a phobia or a fear that you have been unable to deal with. So hair is visiting now for all of those who are really struggling with a deep fear. And it could be the fear of death and dying, fear of change, fear of anything that is unexpected, And it's that energy sits really in the chest and in the heart. So if you're prone to chest infections, and if you have chest pains, and it's anxiety based, hair, it's just it's like an underlying fear. It's not what you think even you're afraid of. You can think maybe, for example, people who are afraid of water, they think that maybe, they're afraid of drowning, and then that's not even the fear, it's something even deeper than that. This tells you to dig deep within your subconscious and find out what the bottom fear is, and then send up a prayer command, ask the creator to release you from the fear, have creator's truth, perspective and understanding on the fear, that you can live without it, and find out how it serves you as well. If you don't find out how the fear is serving you, it will come back in some way. So if you find out how it serves you, you will also be able to say then to yourself, okay, I keep this positive. There's always a positive in everything. And that's why we keep things in our lives. Don't keep this positive, but without the phobia, free from the trauma. Okay, let's have a look at the runes. Oh, so this came yesterday in the bundle. For those of you who are part of the bundle would have seen this again. Perta, so it's the unexpected. So it's a fear of the unexpected, what cannot be controlled. That's what the cards are saying. And if you can release some of that, obviously not to the point where you're gonna not be able to protect yourself or keep yourself safe. But there needs to be a balance between being sensible and not having a complete just freakouts all the time. You know what I mean? Like panic attacks, constant anxiety. It's no way to live. And you can have balance. You really need that balance. The time is now to start digging, they're saying. And hair is there to help you so it doesn't become so overwhelming. And hair also opens up psychic abilities as well. And once you connect it psychically, it's much easier for you to get the answers and to look at yourself more objectively and kind of examine yourself. Yeah, you get so well. This is a beautiful rune. It means success. This is something that the time has come and you will have success. You will overcome this fear. 100%. I feel that. That's why we get success here. So once you have overcome your fear and your phobia, your life will be better, much better. Care is a destiny card. So you need to really take care of this now. It really is telling you this now. So it's time for you to really take care of yourself, self-care. Once you have self-care, caring for people in your life that you love, it's easy. It's very hard to do if there's a lack of self-care. Let's have a look at the Norse gods and goddesses. You get Thor, action. So again, the time is now to take care of this. And we get Rinse. It's like where you have been frozen in fear. It's where you will overcome, Rind shows up when there is like that. Sometimes the weight it's meant to be. You're not meant to move forward. And when you get it with Thor, it's like start and stop. And where you're stopping yourself is where you feel like there's something bad, horrible will happen, like that. And they're saying you just free yourself from that expectation that something bad will happen, because you have a lot to offer. And I feel like once you stop stopping yourself, you are an unstoppable force of nature, and that's who you are meant to be. That's how you're meant to live your life. And I feel like it's with Thor. Thor achieves a lot. Thor is that energy of breakthrough, having a lot of breakthroughs. So in an area where you really have felt maybe a bit stuck as well, and maybe things haven't moved forward as quickly, there is breakthrough there. But they're giving you some time now first to deal with these fears and the phobias, because especially if also a lot of people fear that they're gonna just become nothing when they die. It could be the most common bottom belief, and bottom belief is a belief underneath all the beliefs. And it can serve people in a way that they just then always stay on a spiritual path. But you can stay on a spiritual path free from being driven by fear, So, let's have a look at 1, 2, or 3. And by the way, when it comes to belief work, also look at what the common beliefs are in the society you live. Because we adapt to the society where we live. And we become the people that we are around to some degree. And it's when you've lived in different places and you're aware of it, you notice how it just happens. So have a look at the beliefs, especially where there's a negative or limiting belief, and see how you can free yourself from that, so that you don't just kind of live down to kind of the lowest denominator, and it's easy to do just because it's more comfortable. It's harder to raise above, So I don't think that you are meant to live a life where you are not. I'm seeing Thor here, and I just feel like you're not meant to be a passive person. I don't think. I feel like, especially people that are drawn to this channel, are people are meant to really accomplish things, and it's really important that you look at what people are thinking around. It's so easy to pick up those beliefs and start believing, and that is kind of like the reality. But when there are limiting beliefs, those beliefs can really stop you as well. Have a look at 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna start with pile 1. Okay, so this is something that I actually talked about on my Instagram. It is where you are so kind, caring, and compassionate that you could almost start keeping yourself in a limiting position because it's comfortable, and also because you feel like that's where you get to shine or care for people the most. Strength here means that, you know, your strength can also be a weakness in many ways, because you can care about a situation and have a lot of understanding and compassion to the point where you are actually putting yourself in some kind of prison, and you become so self-conscious and aware of how your, you know, attitudes and beliefs and thoughts are affecting your environment to the point where you feel like you can't even move, really. And I feel like someone's really locked you into some kind of or in an obligation. So strength here, when it comes with two negative cards, it could be that you feel very obligated to the point where you need to really look at, is this obligation, how is it serving you really, and is there another way where you can live your life without feeling so obligated in a way, because this obligation, I feel like it's really trapped you. When you get Eight of Swords here in like a as a block, it is like so self-conscious. It's almost like you're not allowed to, someone's almost trapped your mind in a way, in a loop where you're unable to really move forward. And with the advice being the Tower, it means you really need to see this for what it is and just free yourself from the Tower. The Tower is like the prison, you know. Interesting, yesterday and today I posted about the Tower. So 8, strength is 8 in numerology, and 8 of Swords is 8, double 8. When there's a lot of 8, there's a lot of karmic relationships. But karma is, you know, we can sit and ponder about things for like forever and ever and ever, and deal, you know, work out every details of everything. But at some point we just have to move on with our lives. And 8 is just there to remind you, because it goes in a, you know, the eternity symbol, it just goes around and around and around. And it's very easy for when there's a lot of 8s showing up, it basically says it's very easy to just repeat the same again and again and again. But at some point you need to change something to free yourself from that loop. And that's what you're going to do. And I think you have a fear of releasing yourself from an obligation. But there's a different way of doing things. And they're saying, ask the Creator to give you Creator's truth, perspective, and understanding how you best can serve. Because at the moment I feel like you have been locked into some kind of obligation that isn't maybe for your highest good. So, 2. Okay. So for people who chose 2, there was a big change that happened very quickly and unsettled you as well. You get situation the Fool. So that is like, that basically means this, you know, it's like an unexpected change that came from seemingly nowhere, but that you're very excited about, extremely excited about it. But you could be a bit accident prone at the moment. Again, it has to do with you know, you want to move forward and you want to have this big change, but there is a part of you that is we get 4 of Swords here in the blocks. It's almost like your body and your mind is not. It's like maybe your mind is ready, but maybe your body is tired. You know what I mean? Like it is, your body needs to catch up with what your mind is doing. So you could have an overactive mind that's just going and going, but your body is tired. So they're saying you need to have balance here between mind and body. So just take some time to think a little bit before you act, because you're very impulsive at the moment. And you can move forward in this adventurous, wonderful way, in a way that doesn't tire you out physically as well. Because I feel like there's healing available here, physical healing available. And that's also another meaning of the Sowelo. Sowelo is basically like the sun in the tarot deck. It means sun. So, 3. Okay. I think this is almost exactly the same card combination that I got yesterday. So here we go again. And I don't look at these cards, I just lay them out. So this must be a very important message. This is exactly the same. The Hanged Man, which is waiting, you know, it's waiting. And then you get the Empress, which I interpreted yesterday as not thinking you're smart enough, because the Hanged Man is also very innovative. It's meant to invent something. There's an idea that's very bright. You see his head is like, true, he can see something that no one else sees, because he has that. He's kind of enlightened at the moment in his suspension. He's gaining a lot of wisdom. But it's almost like you doubt that you are smart, and this has to do with some kind of neglect that has happened. So you could have not been nurtured in childhood, and therefore not having all that confidence that you know. And I'm not talking like, there's different types of nurturing. So it could have been lack of intellectual nurturing in your life, in your childhood, so that you are very intelligent, but it's like you don't believe in your own brilliance. And then we get the Chariot, which really is this, the Thor, moving forward, taking actions. But it's like you don't know if you're smart enough to pull it all off. But they're saying you're gonna have to get started, because you are, basically. They're saying you're gonna work it out as you go. The Chariot is also about self-love, self-belief, self-love. It's the will, and even though you might not feel completely prepared, you will have success. And 3 major arcana cards, it means that now the scene is being set for you. Soon you will re-enter, life again in a new way, and you will really make something happen. But at the moment, you might feel like things are a bit out of your control, and it is because they have kind of put you on a bit of a pause mode. As this card also indicates, and it is to give you time to work out where you are, have fears, doubts and disbeliefs. And for you, when if you pick card combination 3, you need to really believe in your own brilliance, in your own intelligence, in your own unique expression. So that's a little bit of homework, I guess, for you guys today, or even just in the following days or weeks, to start doing a bit of journaling around fears, doubts and disbeliefs, to try and get to that bottom belief. Send up the prayer command. The Creator will help you and will remove things for you and install you with more positive beliefs. Especially if you ask for Creator's truth, perspective and understanding, you get a really good, it is a big shift in that. You get a good perspective on things, that really how to move forward, how best to do things. So now I'm gonna get started on the bundle, and I see you guys tomorrow. Bye!